What's up everybody, and welcome to the channel. In today's video, we're going to take a look at the 2023 Infiniti QX60 Autograph. Now this one is finished off in warm titanium, has a very cool two-tone with the obsidian black, and the MSRP is $67,000. So let's go ahead and get right into this luxury crossover. Underneath the hood of the 2023 Infiniti QX60, you're going to find a 3.5 liter naturally aspirated 6-cylinder engine. This V6 is pumping out 295 horsepower with 270 pound-feet of torque, and it sends that power through a 9-speed automatic transmission to the all-wheel drive system. Curb weight is around 4,600 pounds, and it has a fuel capacity at 18.5 gallons, and you can also expect to get 20 miles per gallon in the city with 25 out on the highway, and this can even tow 6,000 pounds. Overall length is 198.2 inches with a wheelbase at 114.2. Height is 69.7 and width is 78 inches. And then now moving on to the exterior styling with the QX60. This is a very cool looking SUV with a very bold design overall. You can see we have LED headlights with a daytime running light going through the top, and it cuts its way into this front grille. You can see all the chrome surrounding the grille with a gloss black design for the mesh in the center. We get the Infiniti logo right in the center as well, then a cool trim design on the farthest points with some cool body contours. We have parking sensors all throughout the front bumper, some metallic gray trim along with some plastic black up in front for the lower grille surround, and there's also a safety sensor down below. Has a very nice design overall, and then everything fades its way towards the hood. There's a bulge in the center along with on each side, and just really clean lines fading their way towards the windshield. As we make our way to the side profile, you can see that plastic black making its way around these fender arches, and then we get a multi-spoke design for these wheels. You can see the two-tone color, and they are 20-inch in diameter. You can also see a sharp line above the fender fading its way towards these side mirrors, and I love how they also have that two-tone design, and they even have an LED turn signal as well as a side view camera. You can see chrome trim surrounding all of the windows with some black trim for the B pillar as well as the C pillar, and then this two-tone roof. There's roof rails up above that, and of course a panoramic sunroof. I think that two-tone really comes together and brings the design up a notch. Down in the lower portion of the doors, you get some plastic trim along with some chrome, and Infiniti is stamped into the rear portion, and it goes from one fender to the next. You have a very smooth bodywork all around the side, has a pretty nice design. Then that leads us to these LED taillights. Nice red design with a smoked out housing, and they even connect with a gloss black trim piece. You can see your Infiniti badge in the rear wiper, and then a nice integration of the spoiler and third brake light. There's more black trim surrounding the rear glass, and then very clean body lines all throughout the rear end. Down below you can see more parking sensors, some body color along with some metallic gray, and then all of your trailer hitch connections are in the center. You get the QX60 badge. Infiniti is spelled out in the center with a rear view camera and the all-wheel drive logo. I think overall the rear end design comes together, and everything really makes this SUV look pretty luxurious. And then taking a look at the key fob, we have some silver and chrome trim, all of your different buttons. If I go ahead and lock it, you can keep the key fob in your pocket, and just grabbing the door handle, it's going to automatically unlock, and we can take a look at this interior. This one particularly has the saddle brown leather interior with a really nice design. You're also going to see some dark wood accents. You can see the black leather material up on top, then the saddle color. You have some padding for your armrests, a nice grab handle, all of your window controls, mirror controls, and lock and unlock. Then your release handle above that with this dark wood trim and memory seating. We have a Bose audio system and then storage down below. Then you even have Infiniti on an aluminum door sill. All of the power controls are on the left side of the seat with your massaging seat button, and then I really like the material and design. You have a super cool looking diamond pattern with perforations, and then all white piping throughout. Very cool design. You even get autograph up on top of the backrest, and then a little bit more color contrast stitching on the headrest. Spinning around, we have a black leather steering wheel with some silver trim. And then now inside the QX60, keep my foot on the brake, we can go ahead and fire it up. All of the screens are going to turn on, and we have the comfort access. Your seat and steering wheel are going to get into their position. We get a full LCD screen for the gauge cluster, and you can see there's a button on this left side you can toggle and actually change the view. So we have this big screen, then you can get it into a little bit more traditional style. So go back to the big one now. We can take a look at everything in the center. If I hit OK into here, you can scroll down and adjust all sorts of different settings that are in the car. So make it super easy to see everything. You also can scroll left and right, and then there's a few different menus within each one. You can see your audio controls. You also have a navigation integration, some four-wheel drive select, auto start stop along with tire pressure. Then you have trip and fuel, and then continue over into a home screen. On the right side of the steering wheel, we have some controls for your cruise control. You also have your forward pacing along with the safety control, and then all these controls on the left side with Bluetooth and audio controls. We also do get a set of steering wheel mounted paddle shifters. You have your windshield wiper controls on the right side, headlights over on the left. And then to the left of the steering wheel, you can see your steering intervention icon, heads-up display, and power liftgate. Pretty nice design overall. The heads-up display system is right in the center. Then you can see this cool black leather material across the dashboard and more of that dark wood trim. And I love the quilted leather along the dash with just a little bit of the piano black. So very nice to see them bring the upholstery to the dashboard. And then taking a look at the center infotainment, basically what you would expect on any Nissan. We have all of our controls for different audio. We have our menu icon as well. And you can easily scroll left and right and see a few different icons. If we go to the massage seat settings, you're able to adjust all of that. Continuing over, we have navigation, different settings within the car you're able to adjust. Then if I go ahead and put the vehicle into reverse, just press that button and push it forward, you get our backup camera on the left side and then a top-down view over on the right side. And then if I go ahead and just put it back into park, it'll all turn off. We have two air vents right in the center, and then all of your climate controls are in the center on this very cool haptic feedback touch screen. So you can see your fan speed. You just give this a little press, and you can probably hear a small click. We have dual zone temperature that you can sync, heated and ventilated seating. Once again, you just got to give it a little bit of pressure, and it's going to go ahead and adjust. We have more controls down below, rear climate control, track and volume, and then you're on off. Then there is a wireless phone charging down below with 2 plugs, and then some nice silver trim. This does have some drive modes. You can configure everything into a personal mode. We have sport and auto, then also your eco and a snow mode. Then we have an auto start stop feature, auto hold, as well as your parking brake. Then you don't always have to use the touch screen. We have some shortcuts down below, and you can easily make some adjustments using this controller. We have a shortcut for your camera as well, back button, and then we also have the map, a few more shortcuts as well. You can see we have 2 cup holders on the right, more of this upholstery, and then more storage space down below. And then just pressing this button, we can take a look at the center console. Pretty good amount of storage space in here, as you would expect, and more of this nice saddle brown with all the stitching. Moving to the glove box now, pretty typical area as you would expect. And then one last look at the interior. Very nicely appointed. It definitely feels like a luxury SUV in here, especially with all the stitching and the cool color contours. Up above, you can see we have a black headliner with our sunshade. You can just press this button back. The sunshade is going to automatically open up all the way, and then the sunroof itself can also open. So a very cool design for all of that. You can also see more controls up top for dome lights and things like that. And we even get the camera for this rear view mirror. So we have our traditional mirror, and then flipping this up, we get a nice LCD screen. And then moving to the rear seat space, if I grab the door handle and open it up, the door panel's finished off just like we saw up front, and we even get the addition of a nice sunshade. Now this has 2 captain's chairs for the second row with all of the same material. You get the cool stitching design as well as that quilted pattern. This does have a center console which is removable, which is really nice to see. And then we have armrests that are going to fold down. You do get your own climate control settings and heated seats back here with all the controls, some plugs in the center as well. Then there's storage on the back side of these front seats. Now from here you have 2 different buttons. If you press this one, the whole seat is going to flip upwards to give you a little bit better entry point into the 3rd row. You can slide them up out of the way, and from here you can easily lift these. So as you can see, this will seat 2 people back here. Has a pretty good entry point into that 3rd row. Alright, so sitting now in the 2nd row of the QX60, I'm 5'11". Honestly, sitting back here pretty comfortably. I have about 2 inches or so of headroom. We have a nice grab handle, hooks, as well as one of the air vents and a dome light. Armrest is in a pretty good place, and you honestly feel nice and open. Now the seat does recline, and you can recline it pretty far back. This would be a pretty decent family road trip SUV. And with the driver's seat at my height, I have plenty of knee room as well. Armrest on the right side is good, and I like how there's plenty of space in here to make it very comfortable. Alright, so we are now in the 3rd row. So if I just grab the 2nd seat, pull this back, It is definitely on the cramped side back here. It's not that big of a third row. However, I am sitting back here. We can recline these. There is a lever on this left side, and pulling that back, that definitely helps out. My head just barely touches the ceiling though. We do get air vents, and then there are a plug as well as 2 cup holders back here. So it's a decent third row. You know, 2 full-grown adults could be back here in a pinch. And if you take that center console out, at least you have a little bit extra legroom. But overall, not too bad for the sizing of the vehicle. And then there's the button right here I can press, at least get this out of the way, and then climb right out. And then moving on to the cargo area, you have a button on the key fob. Of course, there also is one right back here. Just go ahead and press that, and the power liftgate is going to automatically open up. Now with the third row up, you get a little bit better idea of the recline angle you're going to see. You do still have a pretty good amount of storage behind these seats, and you can even lift this up, and you do have a lot of hidden storage space. And I like how this will even stay up by itself. And then from here, you can just pull on this, get the headrest out of the way, and easily push this third row down and out of the way. And I like how it's really easy reach, so it's not that hard at all. And there are 2 buttons. You can just press these, and these are gonna come back all the way up. So it's a nice feature to have that power operation. But when these seats are down, it is nice how much space you're gonna see. Now, I don't think there's a way to put those down, so unfortunately, you are gonna have to come back through, grab the door handle, and then pull the recline lever, and these are gonna lock downwards. So you do have a really good flat area and a ton of cargo area. However, you do just have to do some things manually. But overall, for being not the biggest third row SUV, you certainly do have quite a lot of interior cargo space. All right, so we are setting off now in the QX60. So with the V6 and 9-speed, I mean, it gets up to speed pretty well. It's certainly not a fast SUV or anything like that, but having a V6 rather than a 4-cylinder like some others in this class, you know, it's a pretty good way to go, and it does get really good gas mileage, good range, so it's a pretty decent vehicle to be in. Now, as far as some normal driving aspects, you have a really good view out, really cool looking windshield with all the contours in the hood, so it's a pretty neat view. And then when you look at this camera, that is definitely a nice touch to see behind you. Mirrors all do a great job as well. And when you look over your left and right shoulder, really no blind spots, honestly. It's pretty easy to see around. The far back, maybe a little bit, but honestly, really no big deal. Suspension is really comfortable. This is a nice place to be. I mean, it rides smoother than a Platinum Nissan Pathfinder, which fundamentally, you know, is the same platform as this vehicle. So it's a good SUV to be in. It feels like a luxury crossover. You know, it kind of gives you that thing you're gonna find in a European SUV. So especially with just the interior, the way it looks and everything, I mean, this is a nice place. The seats are really comfortable, great padding, great support, so many different adjustments. So it's really just nice to sit in here. And then all the amenities work as you would expect. It's not too crazy fancy looking, so it's not challenging to get used to. So it's pretty easy and just kind of a normal vehicle, but it feels luxurious and feels pretty nice. It's also pretty insulated. It's kind of a windy day out. You don't really feel that or hear that or anything like that. Even taking some turns quicker. It's a very composed SUV. It's very smooth. I mean, it's just kind of relaxing to drive this. You really don't feel stressed out or anything like that. So it's definitely a nice luxury SUV that gives you what you would want. You know, if you're paying nearly 70 grand for something, it needs to be a pretty good interior, and this is a great SUV just to cruise and rack up some miles. And obviously it's still practical. I mean, you have plenty of space, but plenty of utility, things like that. Really can't complain with just the drive. It feels smooth, refined. I would say the only thing you're not getting with this is the performance. You know, there's a few other, you know, luxury brands that are at the same price point. They're probably a little bit smaller, but you can get a little bit more performance elsewhere if you look at the Europeans. But when you compare this with its direct competitors, maybe an Acura or a Lexus, it's kind of right on par with performance levels of just being kind of a normal SUV, but it's a healthy motor, good transmission, and overall really nice ride quality. Things you touch in here as well feel pretty good. You know, the leather on the steering wheel, you got the genuine leather along the seats. Mostly everything else is going to be a vinyl material. However, it looks really good, and when you do touch, I mean, it still feels nice. So really no complaints there. And then as we come to a big bump with these train tracks, let's test out the durability. nice, very smooth and solid. I think that's one thing Infiniti does. You know, they take the Nissan Pathfinder, obviously, and they ramp it up a little bit to make it even nicer. So if you're unfamiliar with Infiniti, Infiniti is basically Nissan's luxury brand, just like Lexus is Toyota's brand, Acura is Honda's brand. So this is on the same level of a Lexus or an Acura. And honestly, I think these are pretty nice. It has the solid ride quality hitting the train tracks. I mean, honestly, you didn't even feel that at all. That was really nice and solid. I've been on those train tracks and other, smaller crossovers, things like that, and it feels like it's gonna fall apart. So Nissan definitely gives you something that's tough. They do a good job making their vehicles pretty robust, getting up to some speed. So like I said, it's nothing performance focused, and I think that's the one thing if you're looking at Infiniti as your luxury brand compared to a European brand. European brands, if you want a performance aspect to your whatever vehicle, you want to go European because they will do performance like no one else. I mean, you can get an Audi Q7, a more basic one for this price point, or ramp it up to a lot more than this and get a V8 or something crazy. However, what Infiniti basically is giving you is kind of the base model European price point. However, you're getting a lot better interior and a little bit nicer aspects. A basic Audi Q7, which is going to be about the same size as this, it's going to cost about the same $67,000, $70,000, but you're going to get a 4-cylinder and just not as many options. So with Infiniti, you get kind of a bulletproof motor, a V6, and it's tough. It can handle everything. It's got a beautiful interior, all the tech. You're just not getting that above and beyond performance. And at this price point, you're looking at maybe a more basic BMW X3, an M40, or a base model M, and those are gonna be a lot faster, but a lot smaller too. So this is kind of a good sweet spot where you get that bigger size vehicle with a functional third row, the towing, the more space than a mid-size crossover, but it's at a price point of the European ones, but the base model. So there's a lot to offer for the Infiniti. I think they give you a lot. It is a nice place to be. It feels like the price point, honestly, for sub 70 grand. I mean, it feels nice in here. It looks really cool. Interior looks kind of like a Mercedes interior as far as the quilted leather. However, it still looks like a Nissan, an Infiniti. So it definitely looks like what it's supposed to be. And overall, I don't think you can really complain much as long as you're not looking for the extra performance. Me being a crazy enthusiast, I want as much power as possible. But for a normal daily driver SUV, a family SUV, this is something that my wife and I honestly like. We drove the Platinum Pathfinder the first time, and we really liked it. It just felt nice and normal and as luxury as you would expect. And then when you hop in the Infiniti one, you can actually tell this is a step up. This is basically the next trim level up from a fully loaded Pathfinder. And you can tell this is a little bit more quiet, a little bit more comfortable, a little bit more nicer interior. And it shows, it shows that Infiniti puts that little extra touch. And it's not that this costs a crazy amount more. The Platinum Pathfinder we were in, I think, was like $55,000. And this is fully loaded for the Infiniti. You can also spec this down quite a bit. So it's not like this is an astronomical price difference from the Nissan version as well. It's the next step up. So I like how they've done it. They haven't overpriced it or anything. And really don't have any complaints as far as that. I think if you are looking for a luxury-focused, more normal SUV, put Infiniti on the list. They're doing something pretty nice in here, and it is not a bad place to be. But there you guys go. That is the 2023 Infiniti QX60. These are pretty nice crossover SUVs. They got the utility, they got the space, really cool looking as well. Nice interior. As long as you don't need the crazy extra performance, this thing though still gets up and goes. Peppy enough for the typical person. Definitely a good option. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, give it a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button. Stay tuned for plenty more content. I'll see you all in the next video.